meeting. Okay. This is, oh boy, okay. Now that I've got my iPad on, my computer on, my phone on, they're all telling me to do different things. But, this is Dave Perry. This is a continuation of hearing number 2101. I'm Dave Perry, the chairperson. Rich Archer, you're here. We'll have to kind of do this by a roll call type thing.
Yeah, I'm here, and I mentioned to another board member that I am not able to do minutes because I have to leave in 10 minutes to pick up my daughter from dance recital. So if someone else could volunteer to take minutes of this meeting, and then Mark said he would do them from here on out.
Okay.
I'll attempt to do it.
Okay.
Thanks, Bob.
Okay, so I would take it who is here right now is Rich Archer, Bob Fichtel, Mark Carlisle, and Terry Girardi. You guys all here?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And Rich is going to be leaving in about 10 minutes. So for tonight, Bob Fichtel is going to be the acting clerk.
Yeah, and I'll be
just
here for the whole meeting. I just won't. I'll be driving for some of it. That's the only issue.
Okay, so Dave, one quick question. Donna, is this being recorded?
Yes, it is.
I can't hear you.
Yes, sir.
Oh, it's being recorded. All right, so that's good. I mean, even, you know, even Bob, if you miss anything, at least it's being recorded.
Yep, we're good.
Okay, thanks.
Good. Okay, so we're all here. Since I can't see anything and I can't tell who's here or not, if you could state your name clearly so we can get it on the recording, and that the acting clerk could get it down. This was a continuation of a hearing to try to get some more information to determine where the zoning districts are. The green business and the business district up on 101 and 119. Is the representative from Graz Engineering with us tonight?
Yes, I'm here, Dave.
Okay, Trevor, thank you.
Paul.
Actually, it's Paul Grazowitz.
Oh, hey, Paul, how you doing?
Good, thanks.
Okay, well, I guess with that said, we could probably just cut right to the chase, Paul. I assume that you had a chance to talk to Trevor about what transpired a couple of weeks ago, and we were having it wasn't clear to the board exactly where the green business district and the business district were. Do you have any clarification for us this evening, Paul, about exactly where that line lies?
Sure. If you could share the screen, can you guys do that?
Donna, can you do that?
No, I can't.
Paul, I think if you can share your screen, we'll see it. We just won't see you.
It's Donna, I believe, needs to share it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's got to get permission.
And she's on mute, I think.
Donna,
we can't hear you.
Muted, Donna, you're muted.
Even though it doesn't show a mute.
Well, now you're muted. Maybe your mic isn't.
Yeah, the mic's not working.
No audio from you, Donna.
Yeah, you don't hear anything.
It's because she's out on the beach.
Go down to the left part of your screen. There's another mute button down below. Gotta love technology.
This is Inmay McNeil. I'm one of the abutters. I don't know if this would help in any way, but on my screen, if you go to the top right-hand side, there's a share content green button. If I can access it, I'm assuming anybody that needs it can access it that has video. I don't know if that helps.
Under view?
So if you tap your screen, or you click on it with a mouse, and on the top right-hand side, there's a share content button. If you click on that, you should be able to share whatever thing and whatever screen you want to share.
Yeah, it's down below for me on the, if you drop your cursor down to the very bottom, you'll see it'll come across with mute and so on and so forth. In the middle, it goes chat and a green that says share screen.
Right. No, I tried doing that. The host has to enable
Yeah.
screen sharing.
Yeah, it says
Yeah.
only the host can do it.
Yep, and I believe that's done.
Don, if you go down the middle of your screen on the bottom, it'll be green. Click on that. It says share screen.
I think she's on mute. I just tried to text her. Can you guys like wave at her or something? Maybe she can see you guys.
I think she can hear us.
I don't think so.
I don't know what.
We can barely hear you, Donna.
Not anymore.
Yeah, we did hear a couple of words though.
Yeah. She just turned into a monkey.
Donna, the share screen says that you disabled it, so you have to enable it.
All right. Is that better?
Yes.
They can hear you better, but it's still saying the sharing is disabled.
All right. How do I?
So I think
Yeah.
from your screen, you have to do the share screen.
Which is down-
Basic?
Go down below on the very bottom in the
I
middle.
hit that. I hit that, and then it comes up with a select. It says basic, advanced.
I would say basic.
Okay.
No, it'll be in your Zoom settings. Sorry.
Is it in the workspace? Zoom Cloud?
Is there a security option under your, as the host? Sometimes there's a security option and you click on the security and it gives you different options that you can allow the participants to do. So you can select an option to allow participants to share screen.
Okay. There we go. Did that work?
I see you and I can hear you.
Let me try it. Yeah, that worked.
Okay.
Okay, so
You're seeing, oh, okay, here we go. Good.
is everybody seeing
Yep.
Yep.
something on there? Okay. All right, great. So let me explain how we got to the zoning line. First of all, the zoning, when the zoning map was, the zoning was created, they specified a distance from the town line. So on the south side of 119, they went 950 feet west. And then they went south for 500 feet. And that's the line between the green business and the business district. On the north side of the highway, they went 1,000 feet versus 950. So the key to this thing was determining where the town line was. So we have the all of the properties in a CAD file. And what we did was, in fact, over a year ago, I'll show it to you. We did all of our surveying out there in state plane coordinates. So basically we took our GPS, we set it up, we ran a static, and we sent it into the NGS, and they have a program called Opus, and they reduce your raw data file coming out of GPS. They send it back and they tell you the precision on it. and I'll show you that in a minute. Once we have that data, we now have our survey on state plane coordinates with actual latitude, longitudes. What we did was, now that line that we're measuring the 950 feet from, it's not defined by the roadstone on the highway. It's defined by the actual town corners. And in this case, it's on the Massachusetts Town Atlas that you've got on the screen right now. It shows you that the Ashburnham Ashby #1 corner and the Ashburnham Ashby #2 corner, they're 10,370 feet apart. That defines the town line in that area. So we took the state latitude, longitude, and we took our survey, and with that data being in the same coordinate system, we now had the town line in the drawing. From that, see if I can bring, well, I'm not going to bring the CAD file over. I might not be very smooth switching back and forth on this. Let's see. Where'd it go? Opus, here we go. This right here is the, I should mention, we didn't do this because of the town line. We do most of our surveys, at least our larger surveys, we always do them and put them in state plane coordinates. So we've got a real elevation, a real northing, and a real easting. So anyways, we send our data in. NGS, the National Geodetic Survey, sends it back. And in this case, for this Danny Gardner job, we got our coordinates back from the National Geodetic Survey. And you can see on here, they've got longitude and latitude, and they tell us the precision.
Sorry, can I interrupt real quick?
Yeah.
We're seeing a meeting. We're seeing,
Yeah, we're seeing our you're on the Ashburnham
the town website.
website showing the meeting.
Oh, really? Okay. Is that, are you seeing any,
Nothing's changed.
No, we're just seeing where you do the link for the meeting on the town website.
well, let me see if I can minimize that.
Yeah, I think you want to go another tab over or either minimize the whole browser.
Or turn that off.
If I close that, I don't know if that'll shut me out of the Zoom if I close that tab.
Well, no,
Let's do that one. Maybe you need to be all the way to the left. The left tab at the top. Is that what you have?
There it is.
So,
Come up there?
Yeah, we got it. Opus RS.
Yep, Opus, yep, that's it. So National Geodetic Survey sends us back the, they take our information and they post-process it. And you can see on this, they came back with latitude, longitude. So the precision on the processing they did was 0.006 meters, which is it's 2/100ths of a foot, so 0.02 feet. So the data we sent them was good. It processed really well. And we took our latitude, longitude, and we took the mass coordinates, latitude, longitude, for the two town corners that that cross the highway. And that's how we got into their system. Now, the 950 feet is defined west of the town line at that point. So that's the line that we have on our plan and that we used for the A&R. And that's really the only way to determine it. And that's how we determined it.
So Paul, so I understand you were taking coordinates off of the state to be able to derive where you ended up as far as the business area and the green space area, so on and so forth, correct?
Correct. We took the state's coordinates for those two town corners, which define the line that crosses the highway.
Okay.
And it was from that point that we, drew our 250 foot, which I don't know if this is going to work. I'll try and bring the CAD drawing over. I don't know if can you see that?
Is that the one that you had already submitted?
Yeah, this just shows you more. It's got everything on it. It shows the highway layout and the town line.
It was there and then it went away.
Does that show on your screen or not?
No,
I
it's
still see
not.
the screen you had. The Opus one.
It was there for a split second.
There it is.
Okay.
Oh, good. It's just a matter of clicking on the right thing at the right time, I guess. So basically, you can see on this on our CAD drawing, this cyan, this light blue colored line right here. That's our zoning line. And what that is, if I go to the town line over here and I draw a circle where the south side of the highway meets the town line and go 950 feet, we'll come over here and you'll see this circle right here, which intersects this point right here. So if you take the highway line, run it across here, that's where they intersect. So that's where we got our town line from. Way back when we had started with a plan that Zoc had drawn, and Zoc had shown a town line on there, or not a town line, rather, a zoning line that was actually, if I remember right, I think it was way over here. So when the question came up, we said, well, we need to find the actual town line and base our line on that. So that puts it coming right through the lot. Now with that, we said, well, okay, we could do business, or we could get a special permit for a dwelling. We actually went the business route initially. We did a site plan, submitted it to the planning board, actually as well as conservation, to do a small motel, and which is allowed by right, actually. Zoning allows it by right. So the planning was concerned with how you're going to make any money. We want to see a business plan, et cetera, et cetera. We were going to have to put a nitrogen loading septic system in order to get that loading on this lot. And we finally just said, this is not working. Let's just go for residents. I mean, we got residences south of us. We have residents over here, the next lot over from Bruce Davids. And it's a very small business area. So, obviously a 2-unit motel is not a very, well, actually might have been 3 units, but still it was very small. And in that kind of area, there's not a lot of area for business. So we decided to just drop back, forget the business aspect, go with the dwelling, which is kind of, in harmony with the area. I mean, across the highway, there's dwellings. To To the west, there's dwellings. Yeah. Let's just ask for the special permit to do this right here. If we had gone with, there were people saying, oh, the zoning line is, it's over here, more towards Bruce David's. I mean, if you look at the picture we sent, it appears that the line is further to the east. And if it was, we wouldn't need to come for a special permit. But when we did all the survey work, the line just.
You got some big feedback.
Okay, I'm gonna unplug that speaker and hopefully.
Okay.
You hear me still?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good.
That's better.
Paul, I've got a question for you.
Yep.
If you look north of,
Okay, here we go.
if you look north of the highway,
Can you guys?
Yeah.
can we scroll up a little? Yeah. Now, the blue line to the left of the highway, is that the business zone also? So does it make a jag?
Yeah, the line is defined on the south side of the highway as 950 feet.
Yeah.
And on the north side of the highway is defined as 1,000 feet. I
Okay.
don't know why, but that's. Trevor had actually emailed into you guys the actual map from the original zoning. It doesn't show on the zoning map that, that's posted, the nice colored one, but it's the original one when they created the district. But it's got those two dimensions on it, 950 on the south side and 1,000 feet on the north side of the highway.
500 on each side.
And then the depth, to be honest with you, yeah, I think it is. It's 500 on our side. I think it's the same on the north.
It's 500 on our side, 500 on the north side.
Yeah.
And then 1,000 on the north side, going towards Ashby, 950 on the south side.
Correct.
Hey, Mark, if I could interrupt you for a minute, can you hear me?
Yep. And you look good, Dave.
Mark?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I just kept fooling around with the iPad and I finally worked.
Great. So I have a few questions for you, Paul. I think we can agree that back in 1973, when this zone district was derived, that they didn't have the technological ability that we have today. Would you agree with that?
Well, the use of GPS was very limited, yeah, but the town line has been the town line since way before that.
Understood. But all the other coordinates that you have there, that was not necessarily available to the people of the zoning board drawing up this map, correct?
Yeah, I would agree with that, yeah.
Yeah. So I think you guys have probably done with all the available technology. I think you've got everything. You went to the state, you did the right thing. You plotted all of this. And I have no doubt that when you did this, if you said that you went to the state and you got the coordinates, you did all of this stuff and laid it all out. I mean, that's what you have available for technology, and you've done it. My issue here is they didn't have that ability in 1973. And when I look at that map, it's clear to me that triangular piece that you see there, the intent of that board was not to make it a business district. If they had, they would have put lines through it like they did on the 950-foot piece of the business district. So, a lot of times when you get into these situations, it's not clear. And we're facing that right now. And it is about intent. And the way I see it is that triangular piece converges on one pin along 119, according to the original map. It then goes south. And it's clear to me that there was a distinction between that triangular piece not being business and you have gone through the effort and all of that, the due diligence of using what we have available for technology today that they didn't have then. But when I look at that map, I look at intent, and the intent was not to make that part of it business. That's the way I see it. And Paul, I'm not, you guys have done what you needed to do and all of that, but we got to go back to 1973. And in 1973, they didn't have the tools, and that it's clear they made a delineation that that triangular piece was not supposed to be business. Otherwise there'd be lines through it.
Well, you know, if they had been marking up a tax map and drew it, you know, clearly along a parcel line, you know, I would agree, but they were working off of a you know, a hand-drawn map, which, I mean, this is the map. I know we emailed
Yeah,
a copy to you.
I actually emailed that
Okay.
to Heather, and in turn, she gave it to Sarah, and in turn, she gave it to Trevor. So that map that you see is original because I pulled it off of the original zoning book.
Yeah, and we went through this, I don't know, maybe a year ago with planning, and when we redefined, if you will, this line, and if this were a tax map with tax lines on it, with parcel lines, I would agree. But the only lines we have here is the highway line and the town line and dimensions from it. So, I mean, we didn't have any choice. We couldn't, you know, the odd shape of the parcel where 119 dips to the south, that existed back then, but it wasn't, the detail of this plan was not, you know, it just doesn't contain that kind of detail at the scale that it's at.
Understood. And I'm not, I'm not trying to condemn or, you know, negate your work, because I believe that what you did was gather everything you could get today. But on our side of things, the way I see it is that we're working off of what the town intention was in 1973. And whether the coordinates, whether it's off, and you're right, it was probably handwritten. There was a lot there. So instead of delineating a 500-foot strip all the way up 119 or all the way to from that corner to 101, what they said intentionally was to leave that portion out of business. That's the way I see it. Otherwise, if they didn't, regardless of the coordinates, it's about intent. And I don't see, if they intended that portion of that northern part of that lot to be business, it would have lines through it.
I'd be happy to not have the line where I've shown it. I mean, in that case, I wouldn't need a special permit. I could build a house by right. But I can't arbitrarily move this line over to, you know, slide it over another 50 feet or 100 feet or whatever it happens to be, because it doesn't follow even the angle of the lot line. So, you know, it's never going to be parallel with our lot line. And if I do that, it's not going to be 950 feet from the town line.
Right. But would
I don't know if you can make a decision based on, we grant it if it's determined to be in the business district, and it's not needed if it isn't. I mean, I understand what you're saying, going from the, you know, the pictorial thing here. It doesn't quite jive with ours, but I don't know. I don't know.
So Mark, what is your issue? It looks to me as though the house is going to be in the business district. and that they do have the square footage. So are you saying the intent was that the business zoning line would have followed the highway? I mean, Ashby Road?
No, my issue is, unless somebody can make it clear to me, is that delineation was based upon that lot that the country store is based upon. It is on. That was the intention because of the way they made that triangular piece with no lines in it. That to me, looking at everything, it looks like that rectangular, let's say the 500 to 950 foot is part of the lot to the country store. And they excluded that triangular piece that is doesn't have any delineation in it, and it's just open.
Paul,
I
is
don't
that
see-
triangle, is that state property?
Yes, this is part of the highway, correct?
That's what I was saying. That triangle is probably was part of the state highway land.
So you're saying the triangular piece is all part of the between 101 and 119 is all state land?
Yes. This is part of the 119 layout right here.
So that would like be the access to the road.
I'm not sure why they did it, but
It's like
Not
their
sure
easement.
either. I know there was even some talk about it being part of the town land. So I'm having trouble seeing. So where where the house is going on the old map, where you have the 950 and the 500, where does it fall in that? Do you have that in front of you, Paul?
yeah, I've got, can you see my CAD file on the screen here?
Yep.
Okay. This is the house. I should mention, by the way, we had a conservation meeting on Monday night. And they wanted the house shifted outside of the 50-foot wetland setback, which we can do. We actually sent them back a plan showing the house. It's basically right here. But it's pulled closer to the septic. So I guess the short answer to your question is the house is right here. The 950-foot line is this dash dot, this divided thicker light blue line here.
And where's the 500-foot line?
500 actually goes into this second lot a little bit right here.
And where's the house again? I'm sorry. Can you pull the house back?
The house is right here.
Okay. Yeah, I was under the impression that it was further to the west.
The house.
So you're saying that I'm looking at the original map, you were saying, do you have that in front of you, Paul? The one that shows the 500 setback by
The zoning map?
950?
Talking about the zoning?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So you're saying in regards to this map, now I've lost the house. Where's the house again?
House is right here.
So I'm trying to get the triangular piece. So you're saying if I was looking at the map, your triangular. Okay, so you're over about, Oh, God. I mean, there's no scale on any of this.
Well, tell me what you want a distance from. I could
Well,
give it to
I'm
you.
trying to, yeah, put me back on the 500, the triangular side, the right being the vertical side of the triangle. I guess I can't remember the Pythagorean theorem, ABC, would be on the A side of the triangle and the relation to that to where the house is.
I guess I'm not sure what you mean by the triangle.
Okay,
You're not talking-
so the triangle that I showed you that has no lines through it on the old map. I just want to
Oh,
see
okay.
where that falls to the right of that line where it doesn't have any lines through it.
Okay, well, this is the zoning line we have right here. And so this would be the triangle right here that we
The
have.
bottom of the triangle is where you had it, where that, okay, right there. Yeah, okay. Yeah. And then you go up the side of the triangle.
Yeah.
And then show me where the house is.
House is right here.
Okay. Yeah, okay. That makes a lot more sense into what you're talking about. I didn't realize from the map, and again, it's going way back, that the house was, that land, what the house was up in, aside from the triangle. I thought it was below the beyond the 500-foot distance.
Oh, no. There's an
See what I'm
existing
saying?
house that is down there.
You're right. No. But
Yeah,
see,
no,
the way the map is and what was before, this is why I'd asked Trevor to provide more detail, because we didn't really have a real clear vision as to where the house was, whether it was within that triangle or it was to the right of the triangle. That's what I was trying, for me, that's what I needed to see.
Right, the triangle is outside of the hatched.
Right.
area.
So where my confusion in all this was that the way the map was looking, it looked like the non-line part was part of a lot. And it didn't show the delineation between where that lot number 23 was and how it was portrayed on the business district. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's where I was trying to figure out if the house was within that triangle that was not business, and whether it was actually in the business district.
Okay.
That was what I wanted to have, spelled out and made clear.
I'm satisfied with what he's showing us myself.
Right. No, I am too. I wasn't before. I'll be honest with you. I wasn't, because the way the zoning map made it look like is that the David's lot was all in that rectangular, and it didn't, and then the other lot was just made it. And now that you said that the state owns that part of the triangle, that's why they didn't make it business. And that's the clarification that I needed.
I think the map he supplied us with basically is showing the same thing we got on what he's showing now.
Well, it is once she walks it through it. But Terry, you're a lot more smart than I am, so that's why you probably saw it.
This was in our original packet.
Yep.
Me too.
I'm good. I don't know if, I know there were other people on the Zoom meeting, if they want to be brought in, or if anybody else on the board has anything to say.
I think that everything was pretty much clarified with me. That does a good job you did, Paul, on this other plan that we have in front of us now, that's for sure. What do you think about this, Mark? Are you pretty much satisfied with this
No,
one now?
I am, and I appreciate him walking us through it.
Okay, so is Rich still with us? Is Rich
Looks like it.
gone?
No, I'm here and I just want to tell Mark I love him. That's all.
You say the sweetest thing.
I'll put
Okay,
that in the minutes.
Terry, do you have anything else you'd like to add or any questions you have for Paul?
Nope.
Bob, are you all set?
I'm set.
Okay, so let's see.
Excuse
So
me? Excuse
well,
me?
hold on one second. At this point of the meeting, what I would like to do is see if there's any other members from any other boards that would have any input this evening. Okay, I don't think so. So then we
No.
can move, move along and see if there's
Hey.
and any other people, residents that would like to be heard. If you could state your name clearly so we could get it down for the recording. And also so that Bob Fichtel, the clerk, could write the name down. That would be wonderful. If there's anybody else that would like to be heard, please state your name clearly.
Is it my turn?
Sure,
Yes.
Lorraine.
Okay.
State your name.
I'm looking at the map way back when we were considering maybe a trailer park or something like that, where the lines, the zoning lines are shown as going right up beside Bruce David's Country Store, just as they're basically shown on the town zoning map, the colored one. And as you're talking about all the technology, I get that. But I went myself into some little program that showed the, outlined the properties. And I went to a measuring device and did the measure from the town line, 950 feet, and it put me out to where Bruce's, to where the Country Store property ends. It doesn't, it didn't, and that's, I mean, that's quite a difference. I think that's probably a good, well, it'll probably be a good 50 feet difference. So how can we be that different?
Well, because one thing you got to realize that these road stones that are on just about every road that crosses every town line, they're not suitable for determining town boundaries.
Well, I was going
And-
by property boundaries. It shows all the properties, the lines of all the properties, which I would assume would be fairly correct.
Well, I mean, we obviously we care about our property line and where it is on this plan, but for the purpose of the zoning line, we only cared about where the town line was. And the only way to determine that is to use the two town corners that create that town line. So that's what we did. And it's not uncommon to find a discrepancy on the road stones that they place along the sides of roads.
And why was that not shown, that particular piece as being in the business zone on the plan for the trailer park, mobile home park, whatever we were looking at back 2 years ago?
I don't know what you were looking at. I mean,
I'm looking at the plan, similar to, not this with all this, similar to the plan that you've submitted where the shows the house and, you know, everything. This is the plan for the trailer park, and it shows the, there's 119's up here, and it shows the business line going across down here. I can't really do this, but it shows the business line going across here. And then it just goes right up alongside of the Country Store property, not way over there.
Yeah, I think, and I'd have to go back and find the Zoc plan,
Well,
but
I'm
we
just
we
wondering
originally,
how, no, this was done by you guys.
yeah,
It
no, I
says-
know that, but Zoc did a survey plan and recorded it for this property.
Well, at one point, they had a plan way over to the left, going all the way out to 101 across the bottom
Right,
there.
and during that hearing, for the, it was a motel, I think there was,
Yes,
I
trailer park
forget.
motel. Yeah, we went from a
Yeah.
trailer park to a motel to where we're at now. Yep.
And it was during that someone said that the zoning line on that plan didn't look correct. And I told him at that time, I said, Zoc did a plan, they recorded a plan showing the town line. We used that plan. Matter of fact, Danny Gardner brought that plan to the building inspector at the time. And
Surprising.
and then I said, well, when the original zoning sketch came up that showed the 950 and the 1000, I said, well, we need to look into it because there seems to be some question about where that boundary is. And, you know, depending on what we want to do there, it makes a big
Well,
difference. So,
that's what makes the difference, depending on what you want to do there. So my question from way back when has been, can you just arbitrarily move these things around depending on what you want to do?
no, there's nothing arbitrary about the line we determined. Like I said, Zoc determined the line on the plan you're looking at.
Now I'm
And
looking at it's got your name on it and
Yes.
it's for the trailer park,
yes,
way back.
for the motel, and there's going to be notes on those plans somewhere that we relied on the property plan and the zoning line provided on the recorded plan from Zoc. And I mean, we didn't have any reason to doubt it. It was on a recorded plan. But because there was a question, we then decided to see if it was correct or not. And of course, through that process, you know, we came up with a 950 by 500 parcel here. You know, if we went by that line, it was on that old plan, I wouldn't be here for a special exception or special permit rather. Because, you know, I might have been completely in the green business district if we use that old line.
But then you'd have a small lot.
Oh,
But
no,
that's
no.
neither,
The lot would be,
that's neither here nor there, but
the lot would be the same size.
I mean, the lot is the same size, but to be, those other two houses that have been put up there now in that lot, in lots 1 and 2, meet the requirements for a residential house as far as square footage of the lot goes, but this one would not. And so you'd still be here needing a special variance or whatever you need. I don't get
Oh,
all
right. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Well, I think that what would have happened was if that lot line that Zoc had drawn in there and registered had been correct, he probably wouldn't be here for a special permit. They would be requesting a variance most likely.
Okay, so
But
I don't know. I
at
don't
any
get
rate,
all the terminology, but
Well, there's two entirely different things. At any rate,
yeah, okay.
the long and the short of it is I'm seeing it. What ended up happening was Graz Engineering used a certified registered plot plan that Zoc had done. And then they, on further review, they thought that there was something wrong with it and they revised it to correct it. So it looks like Zoc had put a line in the wrong place and Graz corrected it. Is that basically what happened in a nutshell here, Paul?
Yes.
Well, what about the first line? Now, I'm talking about the first line. Now, we're talking, I'm assuming, about the 500 foot that went all the way across to 101. That when they were thinking of doing the motel, the big motel, they had the 500 foot from 119 going straight across to 101. And on the plan for the trailer park, it stops at the country store property and goes up to 119 along that line. And now we're cut the difference, I guess. We're somewhere in the middle here.
Well, there was a mistake at one point. Excuse me, there was a mistake at one point, and it looks to me as though Graz Engineering corrected that mistake. I mean, I think that the lot lines are correct where they're being shown right now, and they were incorrect before, a year ago, before Paul went to all of this work to find where all of they are. At
The
least
zoning
that's how I know.
The zoning
That's
lines
how
you're
I'm
talking,
seeing it. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
you're talking the zoning lines, not the, what about the lot lines, like the country store lot line?
Well, I think back a year ago, the plans that Zoc had drawn up for this were incorrect. They just, the lot lines, the zoning lines were not correct. I think that they're a lot more accurate now than they were then.
So does the town then need to go back and change its zoning map so someone looking at that would have a clearer picture of where the green business versus the business zone in that corner is? Because
we've
if you look,
actually-
if you look at the colored town zoning map, which probably most people go look at, it takes that jog. And if you draw a straight line down where it goes green and keep going straight, that's pretty much right along Bruce David's country store property line. Where it takes that jog after, and it might be a moot point at this spot, but it's just that this line has now changed 3 times since this whole thing started. It may not make any difference in the end, except as far as showing the correct picture, I guess, on a zoning map that most people would go look at if they're looking.
Well, even if you look at the zoning map on the zoning book, I believe that there's a line in there that that I don't know exactly. I'll have to hold on a second. Let me look at it again. Let me look that up. Isn't there a there's almost like a disclaimer in there? Hold on a second. Hold on just a I'm trying to find out. I think that
There is a plan on record at the registry now that shows this corrected line.
oh, there
This-
is.
Yeah.
This one now that you've just drawn.
Yes.
Yeah, it says there's a disclaimer on the zoning map. And it says the information depicted on this map is for planning purposes only. All data are, it's really small, it's hard to read.
Yeah,
And are not.
find that with a
adequate-
lot of these documents, you can't read them.
It says, and are not adequate for boundary definition, regulatory interpretation, or parcel analysis. I mean, I would have to say that what's on the registry of deeds now is more accurate than what's in the zoning book.
Okay. All right,
fact,
it's just
they
that
don't
I
have
was going by what was in the zoning book and by the lot sizes and measuring from there.
Yeah, so it says here on another map too. The information depicted on this map is for planning purposes only. All data representational and are not adequate for boundary definition. Yeah, it says the same thing. So there is a disclaimer on the zoning map that
Okay.
is right there that it's,
Okay, so basically, I guess what, is it Mark
Yeah,
was saying, was it depended on intent? And I think I had mentioned once before, and this is probably getting a little off, not off the subject, but just a little sidetracked, that there was businesses there before, many years ago, that across the 101 on the northern side of 119 was an ice cream store. And in what is the country store, and to the Ashby side of that was a gas station and something else. So that's what my thought always was when they zoned it business, it was because there may have been business there at that time.
Yeah, I think in retrospect, it would have been a lot easier if the map depicted, and I believe that Sarah brought it up, that that triangular piece is owned by the town. I think that's what she said. And I think on that situation, it would have been a lot easier, a lot clearer if they had said that that part of the triangle was part of the town's property versus it made it look like it was all part of parcel 23.
Yeah, no, it's
And for
definitely
me,
not
that's where
that.
the confusion came in. And in turn, they have had to move the house anyways because of Concom. So we would have had to seen that anyways.
Yeah, but while we're on that subject, then if we're done with the zoning, if we've got that straight, maybe. That triangular piece that is either town or state or whatever, is that a access? Is there access to that lot from that piece, which would be access to 119 or not? I've asked that question before, but nobody's really answered. If you wanted to say there was access from this lot to 119, since it's a business lot, and that would be maybe a business access, not that it's going to be a business, but is there access there or not? That's what
I would say no. I mean, the access is
to 119, I'm talking.
coming out to Ashby Road here. This
Yeah,
coming out through this parcel right here, I would think that would take some kind of special approval, because it's not really near the traveled roadway. I don't know what the intent of or the use of this piece is going to be. I mean, people use it all the time to go in there and turn around and park and
yeah, they
whatever.
park and there's been piles of sand and different things there. I don't know if that's the town or the state or whatever that.
I think in order for there to be access, there would have to be an easement that goes with that land. And there, as far as we know, there is none.
I
Okay.
would think so too.
All right, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Is there anybody else who would like to be heard, or any other citizens, or anybody else have any input that they would like to put in on this? Donna, where are you?
I'm here.
Oh, it looks like you're in Florida or something.
Oh, thank you. I wish I was.
Yeah. Oh, can I ask one more question?
I'm sure.
It doesn't have to do with, well, it does, kind of. But I was wondering where the well and septic system for the country store are in relation to this house and the well and the septic system of this new property.
I could certainly understand your concern about that, ma'am, but we really kind of need to stay focused on what's happening here. Certainly the plans are available at the town hall.
Okay.
Or garage engineering would have that. I don't want to cut you short, and everyone has a right to be heard, but I would like to try to stay focused on this particular lot instead of the lot of where the country store is, because we're going to
Well,
start.
I was just wondering about the closeness, from the well and the septic system of this new lot, of this new home.
Again, believe me, I'm not trying to be rude. I
No,
really
that's
do
okay.
firmly believe that everyone has a right to be heard, because by definition, this is a public hearing. But that would be a Board of Health issue, which
Okay.
goes beyond the scope of the authority of the zoning board. We are
Okay.
here to hear an appeal for a special permit on this particular lot, and what is going on with the septic system and the well is up to the Board of Health. So I'm certainly, Rick Medcalf is the health agent for the town. He's a very amiable man, and you could talk to him. He's there Tuesdays and Thursdays, and he'd be more than happy to discuss with you where the location of all the septic systems and the wells are in that whole area.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Is there anybody else who would like to be heard? Okay, I think with that said, I think that does the zoning board have any other questions or comments or anything?
I'd like to move that we vote.
Okay, well,
I'll second.
Okay, well,
Well, I think you need to make a motion that something, right?
I'd like to make a motion that we accept the plan as presented and grant them is it a special permit?
I'll second.
Hold on,
I can, I'll second that.
Or you can.
I'll second that.
I think Rich seconded it.
Nice try,
Okay.
Dave.
What, did somebody second it before me?
Yes, Rich
Yep.
did.
You're late to the game there. Dave.
Okay, if that's, so we have a motion to grant a special permit as applied for. We have a second. Who seconded that? Rich?
Rich, yeah,
Okay. I'll take a vote. If you could state your name for the vote, because this is audio and being recorded. Dave Perry, yes.
Terry Gerard, yes.
Robert Fichtel, yes.
Where are you, Rich?
I'm waiting for Mark to go from before me. I'm a gentleman.
Yeah, Mark, yes.
And Rich Archer, yes.
Okay, we have the motion for the special permit has carried unanimously as applied for. This is a special permit. We have 14 days to make our decision, but we've already done that. So we really didn't, there really was no deliberations. We already did that. That was all part of our part of our hearing, correct? Because usually we have a before we have a vote, we go into deliberations, but I think we already did that in one. Any comments on that?
Nope.
No, we're all set with that?
Yeah,
Okay, then we've made our decision. Yeah, usually we go into deliberations first before we go straight to a vote, but I think that we kind of already did that anyway. Everybody agree with that?
Yep.
Okay,
Sure.
yeah, okay, so so we made our decision. What I'll do is I'll write up the decision tonight while it's still fresh in my mind. And then we will, what I'll do is I will bring a copy of the decision to the town hall tomorrow, because there's a 20-day appeal period. You have to wait 20 days from the time that the town clerk stamps the decision in from the zoning board. And like I say, I'll write that decision up tonight, and I will bring that to the town hall and drop it off tomorrow. So once that gets stamped in, Heather will type it up and she'll bring it to the town clerk. Excuse me, and then the 20-day appeal period will start to tick. Anybody can appeal our decision within that 20-day time frame from the time it's stamped in. It's very important that if someone does want to appeal our decision, that they do it within that 20-day time frame, because otherwise they won't be able to. Also, the copy of our decision has to be stamped in with the registry of deeds as part of the deed for the property. And I think that's about it. Am I forgetting anything?
I think you covered it.
Okay, with that said, I will make a motion to close the hearing.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Dave Perry, yes.
Terry Gerard, yes.
Mark Carlisle, yes.
Fichtel, yes.
And Rich Archer, yes.
Okay, that hearing is closed. The meeting is still open though. Do you guys have the energy or the wherewithal to I think we have a set of minutes that we could approve. Do we want to go through that, or we have another hearing next week? We could go through those minutes because there is a draft on file that would suffice if we want to wait till next week. If we're starting to get tired or worn out, this was kind of a long, drawn out, contentious thing. But what's the consensus of the board? I'll
Thanks,
struggle
good
through the
night.
minutes if you want. Oh, good
I
night,
got
Paul.
nothing to
Thank you
do,
very
so-
much.
Thank you.
Thank
I'm
you
good.
all.
For the board, I'd like to just say one thing, Dave, that it'd be nice to get clarification on if in the future we have one district overlays another district, which district rules and regulations do we go with?
I believe it's section 122 E. I looked that up. It's there's very specific things. It's got to be within 50 feet of the district, but you can go with the lower. It's in Debbie's email, Bob, if you want
Okay,
to.
yeah, so you just go with whatever has the easier,
Whatever
less
got
restrictions.
the less restrictions.
Yep,
It's
okay,
pretty well laid out pretty clearly in Debbie's email, Bob.
okay.
So what about the minutes, guys? Do you want to go through the minutes or you want to wait and do it next week?
I could do either. It's totally up to you guys.
Thought you
not
had to pick up your daughter.
Yeah,
I'm
To be
already
honest,
at home, dude.
Is
I
she
already did that.
hitchhiking? Is she hitchhiking home?
No, she's at home looking as beautiful as always.
Okay, that's good. I was worried.
Now I'm shredding
That's good.
chicken for dinner.
why
So
don't
I'm
we,
good.
if you guys don't mind, why don't we do the minutes next week? Because I got home literally 5 minutes before the hearing and I was stressed and in a hurry to try to log on and I haven't even had a chance to eat dinner yet. So I'd like to try to grab a shower and a bite to eat. Maybe we could do the minutes next week if I can get home from work a little bit earlier, so I'm not running in the door and straight to the computer. You guys mind doing that?
Has anybody else looked at these minutes?
I have.
Do you see any issues? Do you think we could get through this quick? Because I didn't. see
Yeah, I
anything.
mean, even though Rich did them, I don't, for some reason, have any issues. I don't know why, but
That's
because
super.
I think bang these out.
Oh boy, I don't know.
low
What to say.
hanging fruit. Sorry.
I think we could just bang them out.
Yeah, I'm good with them. I did look them over.
Yeah, if they're the ones that I took, if that's all we've got to do, then they're definitely accurate. That's all I'm saying.
Nothing glared at me, Dave. I think they were fine. So I think we could probably.
I'll make a
you look
motion
at
to
them?
accept the minutes as written.
I'll second.
You all set with them? Bob?
To be honest, I don't think I've read them, so I'm going to abstain.
Okay, you made the motion.
I made the motion to accept my own
Up
minutes.
your own minutes? I don't know if you should. do
Yeah.
that.
But if it's me, I know they're right. That's what I'm saying.
No, I'd rather hear it from Terry.
I second it.
I think Terry makes the motion and I second.
Well,
Maybe.
You know,
Yeah, or I think Terry makes the motion. I second it.
Okay, that sounds good.
I'm just trying to make sure that Rich is okay. I don't want him getting in trouble.
You are super thoughtful. That's
I'm
why you're my
always thinking
favorite.
about your
wait a minute. Hold on a minute. Hold on. You guys gotta wait just 1 second for me. Hold on 1 minute.
This is not going to be good, whatever it
No,
is.
I don't want to be a part of this.
We should definitely stop the live recording if we're if he said that.
Flushing the toilet?
As I said, we should have.
You know
stopped
what?
Okay, you're recording.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Okay, yep, okay, I'm gonna go get something to eat. I guess we're all in favor of the minutes.
Yeah,
Okay,
Mark made a motion, Terry seconded. We have to go to the roll call.
It was the other way around.
Yeah, Terry motion, Mark seconded.
Oh,
Right.
my bad.
Mark, I.
Terry, I.
okay, I make a motion to close the meeting.
Maybe I
Bob,
should
did
say
you
aye
say
first.
Oh, no, he abstained.
And-
Bob abstained. Okay.
Yeah, so
Rich,
I'm gonna say
you said
aye
yes?
and then, yes, sir.
Okay.
And then Dave,
Okay,
you're a good,
yeah,
you're an aye.
Yeah, Mark, I for adjournment. And I can't wait to see this on the internet tomorrow.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
okay, good night. I'm gonna try to get
Boy.
something to
Yeah.
eat.
Good night.
All right. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
So next week, right?
Thank you. Thank you, Donna and Heather and anybody else.
Next week, 6:30, is that the deal?
Can't wait.
Yep.
All right. See you
All
guys.
right.